because while I have no tournaments after that, my schedule is gonna get tighter and it's gonna get difficult. Now let's take a look at one of these games where I lost. Yeah, it was this one. Let's analyze this one carefully because it was a great game. Um, and we want to take a look at it uh, without the engine first. So we're gonna go here and turn analysis off. So this is how you should analyze your games. So this is a practice game. It's not a tournament game, so it's not that important. But obviously, it's in these kinds of games where you are not that focused, where you actually commit the most mistakes. And if you are committing mistakes, those are opportunities to improve. So we're gonna start taking a look at it. So e4, c5, this is the opening, we speed through it. This does not matter, like at all. Okay, now here is the first move that kind of matters. d5, it could alter the course of the game, this move. And there were certainly other alternatives. I could have played bishop e7 and castle quicker. I could have played d6 and then e5, so I would open my bishop faster. d5 is a bit of a compromising move, but well, I don't give, I don't care because this is not what we are taking a look at. Because I've played this so many times before, it's more like theory. Um, Now here is where it starts to kind of matter. Here, it's probably the second important move. There is a couple of things you can do. You can just castle. You can play bishop d7, or you can go queen b6 slash c7. These two moves with the queen, they could be made, but I'm not even gonna take a look at them because I don't think that those should be played, especially at my level. I'm sure I don't have premium, but if we go into the Explorer, there were plenty of grandmasters that moved the queen in this position. It doesn't really matter. You should stay simple at this part of the game, and especially if you are below this rating, you should. So you either do this, so after it takes, you don't double the pawns, or you castle. There isn't much to analyze because we're in the 8th move of the game. That's why when you're analyzing your games, you should just skip it past like the 12th move. The way I'm stopping here is exactly to explain that. Because what can we look at? We can look at bishop d7 and the potential continuation if he captures the knight. I'm just gonna take back and that's what happens in the game. Well, on the other hand, if I just castle and he takes my knight, I'm gonna have to double my pawns. And is this necessarily bad? Not really. I get the bishop pair. I have my pieces are possibly a bit more active because he's a good bishop. Now, of course, he can go ahead and just play this on the next move. He's not gonna play d4 because then we wouldn't double our pawns. But the thing is, I'll still rather play this position with black. We can even play this before, and let's say reach a position like this. There may even be a point where we can push this pawn. That would be nice. Um, so maybe here I could have just play the castle instead of bishop d7. The reason why most people skip analyzing this part of the game, maybe it's because it's more of a matter of preference. And when you're playing chess, you always aim to reach an higher level. And when you take a look at players from title players, they know when they're playing moves, some moves in the opening, that's not the optimal move. Like the engine would prefer something else, but just a question of preference in the opening. Then comes bishop takes c6 and bishop takes. I don't know why I took my knight, so should never do that. You are not damaging my pawn structure. You are not getting a material advantage. You're just giving me a bishop for a knight for no reason. Then he plays h3. H3 is another move that makes no sense because what are you scared of? That I'm gonna move my knight there? Why would I play that? My bishop cannot go there. You remember? I just moved it. So yeah. So I'm really criticizing this guy from Indonesia, and I lost this game. That's why we're taking a look at it actually, because games that we lose are the most important. Now here, I castle. This was obvious. D4 is played. I think the reason behind d4 is that's what I thought in the game. If I took you take with a knight and you are like, well, do I just give back my advantage, my bishop for the knight? I mean, I could do that. I could maybe develop my rook, and I'm getting some more active pieces. He's gonna have some trouble with these pieces. He would have to first get his bishop out, then his knight out this way, or his knight out this way. But that's a terrible knight because his two squares are covered. While on the other hand, I have a bishop. That's fine. Covers all these squares. Knight on f6, and my rook is on this file like his rook. However, I didn't want to play this. I wanted to keep my bishop, and my bishop right now is kind of buried there. But there will come a time where I'll be able to have this as an open diagonal, and this will just be a sniper staring at the opponent's king. So at this point I play rook e8. What other moves were there to consider apart from the obvious c takes if d4 and this rook e8 move? I don't think there were many other candidate moves. If the computer spits something else out, I would be surprised. I guess rook c8 could be considered, but here I think actually rook e8 was probably the best move. We'll take a look at it at the end with the engine. Now here comes bishop g5. Bishop g5 develops the bishop, and I think it was just a good developing move. Again, we don't want to take for exactly the same reasons. Now it's even worse because he already has one piece developed. And the thing is, um, these positions where there's some form of tension, you, I somewhat struggle with finding a bit of a move, like a waiting move to keep the tension alive. In this case, I went with queen b6. I think queen b6 made sense because first we were attacking a pawn, he ended up playing b3 to make sure I couldn't capture the pawn. And the thing with that is, uh, well, you're gonna have the option to still play things like this, but defend the pawn also with the queen, so that in case he wants to, for whatever reason, give up his other bishop, you can take back with the bishop actually, and you can threaten this, right? Not yet, because he has the queen defending, but at some point you could like trade this. You're gonna have a lot of pressure because that will be pinned, and when it takes here, that's eventually going to happen. You take back with the queen, and it's alright. So that's one of the reasons I chose queen b6. Uh, and obviously, when we take this, we have one more piece pressuring the center. We are kind of desperate to play this so this bishop can be alive. But for now, we are stuck in this position. What other moves were there to consider apart from c takes d4 and the move played queen b6? You always gotta look at candidate moves. I guess h6 could be looking at. If takes, obviously takes. Could it trade this? Yes, sure. And you would be winning a pawn. Alternatively, I could, in this position, not take with a bishop and take like this to keep the pawn defended. I personally think this is good for black. I'm curious to see what the computer thinks. And I'm not gonna wait till the end. I'm gonna turn on analysis. Yeah, it gives minus 0.2. So black has a slight advantage, although we are a pawn down, and this makes perfect sense. These pawns are doubled. I'm gonna go after them immediately. And apart from that, I have two great bishops. Yes, two knights, one of which is at the starting square. So although it can hang on to the pawn, I guess this is better for black. So I will definitely allow this. And that makes me think that h6 could be a good move because obviously he doesn't want to take the knight. I think that would be a bad move. So he would either go back here to keep the tension alive, after which we can go here, or he would bring the bishop back somewhere like there. Then this is probably not that great of a move because you never want to have the opponent's bishop and your queen aligned, but still, h6 was a move to consider. Looking back at it, I still do not see a problem with queen b6. I think it was a good move. And EA plays b3, like I said, to defend the pawn. I play h6 now. Um, like always, we're gonna take a look at the candidate moves. So, what else could we have played? We could have taken here. That's for sure. How could he have taken back? He could have taken back with a knight, and like I've said before, plenty of times, we don't want it. In this scenario, I'll need to take a look at this, right? If he wants to take, he can take, because that's pretty bad, my friend. However, we need to be aware of this, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and say that this might not be winning for like. Let's take a look at it. Okay, it's mate in 6. That's insane. Oh, okay, there's an hanging rook. And this is why I'm not 2000 yet. Because I make stupid things like that. Um, and yeah, I should be in jail for these kinds of crimes. Yeah, this move will just be, yeah, great move. Great move. Here, obviously, I would have to, well, either develop this knight to protect the rook or trade the rooks. Let's pretend I play this, and yeah, this is better for white. So we're catching some spoilers here. But point is, um, that c takes d4 would not be great. Would not be great because we would get ourselves into positions like this. So our analysis was correct. Bishop takes f6 would be good. Um, Although back here, let's turn the engine back off. We could have played something other than bishop c5. Bishop c5 is a bit of an open chess move, like we just saw. Because if in case of this, I guess it's okay. In case of this, it's not okay at all. So instead of bishop c5, I wonder if we could have taken and now just, I guess, allow him to trade like this. But I struggle to see a reason for that. Maybe we could have gone here. Say he trades, of course, and we reach a position like this. Perhaps I would rather take with a queen, but no, that would isolate my d-pawn. So we'll keep seeing things like this. It's looking pretty terribly, honestly. Like, I still don't know. And France card. Thank God. Jesus. That game was looking tough. Mbappe, right? Yeah, of course. Could have perfectly bet on goal scorer because Mbappe just almost guaranteed a goal. Looking back at this, I guess this would be fine, but I still rather have the position we reached. So the computer thinks it's okay. Yeah, that's great to see. So c takes d4 could be played. It's a candidate move, sure. Um, but I want to keep the bishop because I'd rather have something, even if I don't have that much of an advantage, I'd rather have some imbalance so I can attack. It takes. He moves back the bishop, I think. Yeah, bishop h4. Obviously, he wouldn't want to take here. There's no point in that. Because this pawn is defended by the queen, so this will just be terrible. I'll get the bishop pair, you get absolutely nothing, and I have huge pressure on this. So he moves back, of course, and I go 94. 94, I still like this move. There were a lot of candidate moves. You could even look at g5. Does he want to sacrifice here? I'm gonna go ahead and say no, he doesn't. Although we have some problems here, we are up a piece. How could he get to us? Bringing his queen, he would have to trade first. I'm actually curious, what would be the best move for black here? And what does the engine think of this? Yeah, black is winning. Okay. I shouldn't have been lazy and I should have looked into this position. I should have analyzed it. But I couldn't resist. I just looked at the computer and I can see black is, of course, winning. Um, yeah, I guess it's not posing that big of a threat. Say we play the top computer move, bishop a7, although there were other moves. Like what does he play? Something. Oh, and the bishop stops the queen from going there. Could have gone here, but yeah, up a piece. It's great. So I guess g5 could have been a possibility, but this is obviously not the only line we need to consider. We can't just assume the opponent will give up a knight. You would probably have gone there. Ooh, but then this becomes even better. That should have been considered in the game. Obviously, I don't have infinite time, but yeah, this is not bad at all. Like this position is minus 1.3. That's good. And I guess this is interesting. I think g5 could have been a great move. Usually don't want to open holes in front of your king for the obvious reasons, but this scenario could have gone straight backwards, but doesn't make much of a difference. Still same situation pretty much. Oh, maybe I should have played g5 here. I think though with 94 I'm still growth. We'll see it in the end with the engine, but I was satisfied with the move. Although g5 is looking better right now in analysis. This is the point of analysis. Without even looking at the engine, we saw a move that we believe could be better than the move played in the game. And in the end, we'll obviously confirm this theory by just looking at what the engine thinks and trying to understand the lines the engine spits out, because just assuming that's correct is correct. Stockfish is all powerful, but we need to understand why. And after we have confirmed that, um, it looks like it's one idea that stays for the next game. It's the point of analyzing our chess games, even practice games online. Assuming uh, some of you might be maybe tournament level players and just like me. And we play these games online mostly for practice. If you play at tournament level, at my current form, you would probably destroy me though. So I don't see why you would be looking at my YouTube, because I'm playing really bad chess. I'm playing at like 1600 elo level at most. No, last tournament I played good. This last video it's been tough. Last tournament I actually ended up losing elo, but I was like, uh, yeah, I farmed mostly against lower rated opponents, so it wasn't really fair. But I didn't play against higher rated opponents. I'm around 1700, in case you were wondering. Um. So yeah, we keep going now. 94. Uh, Other moves apart from the two we have considered already. Moving this bishop, could it be considered? No, that's bad. Taking again. For the millionth time, this surges as a possibility. Mm, mm. It ends up being pretty similar to what we have seen already. I mean, pretty unconvincing chances here. I would say this is Yeah, this is pretty bad. And back there, I didn't even consider another possibility when I was looking at this. Not this. Somewhere I considered. Well, c takes d4, and after knight takes bishop c5. Where is that? Here. Um, and then I was like, here, assuming. Okay, no. I already looked into this. He doesn't need to take the bishop, he can just wipe me on this part of the board. So that would never be a good move. Take on c4. I'm glad we got that straight now. I mean, we saw that line where it equalized without moving the bishop, but it's better to play this way, I think. So, looking back at it, I think 94 was a great move. G5 would have probably been better. And apart from there, I'm not seeing a lot of other possible moves. I mean, if we're gonna look at all the candidates, like this needs to be considered, but it's not good. It's kind of bad. Of course, we need to consider maybe this move if we're doing one of those throughout analysis. When I'm playing back at tournament level, I'm probably gonna do like 4 hour analysis of games and maybe stream that. Probably not, but post some form of highlight maybe. You all sometimes you don't want to, yeah, post tournament analysis entirely, like everything you think could be used as an advantage. At my level, it doesn't matter because, well, nobody's gonna see that, especially nobody that's gonna play against me. But you get the point. If bishop takes on e7, yeah, after bishop takes on e7, because I end up playing the knight, and obviously, we are threatening to take the bishop ourselves and put this knight at a bit of an awkward square, and we'll have a lot of activity. It takes. I take with the rook. There's nothing to see there. Now this move was weird, but it was fine, I guess. I mean, it puts the queen in the bishop's diagonal, so it can go like there, there. Not here yet, but maybe in the future. So I guess that's good. It defends this pawn. That was not under attack, but always great to have the pawn. I mean, it was under attack, but it was defended, so it was semi-protected. It's like if it's hanging. At least that's what my coach says. Always be attentive to semi-protected squares, semi-protected pieces. It's as if it was an undefended piece with no attackers. Um, so I guess that moving that way makes sense, but I'll definitely play something else. Especially because I haven't developed this yet. Maybe I would challenge my great knight with this bad knight. I think this would have been a good move for him. And I feel like I want to take a look at Stockfish just to confirm that. Well, apparently not. Stockfish just wants to shop that pawn off. This move doesn't even appear in Stockfish calculation. Well, no more spoilers now. So yeah, that's bad, but he chooses to go queen c1. Apparently now we know it was not a good move. He should have taken here. I mean, I was not too scared of that, to be completely honest. And the computer thinks that, well, this is black anyway, so I have an advantage. Obviously, I'm staying there. This knight is fantastic. You always love these knights in the center of the board. I'm also threatening this pawn. I'm threatening this. This is a great position for me. But this is also a great position for me. And this is where I need to put my Apple Watch in the charger. But I don't want to go now. So yeah, just take a look at the game. Still 1-0. Doesn't really matter, does it? No, I've probably won already. My bet was on France. It was not only that, but the rest is over. So we're gonna clinch that. I double the rooks here. What other candidates did we have? Shop. I guess he will take with a knight, and we'll run again into this very same kind of problem. However, here he can't take because of this, which would allow us to now maybe double this. Maybe play this. So c takes d4 definitely something to be considered. Honestly, I think that would have been an acceptable move. Very, very. Very acceptable move. But doubling the rooks, you can't really go wrong with it. I think we are fine here. He goes knight b on d2. I'm fine with him taking. My point being, and he takes, so I don't need to explain my point. We're gonna take a look at it. We're finally gonna have a glimpse of hope for this bishop. It's finally gonna do something. And we are looking at a lot of problems in this position, a lot of holes, a lot of pawns that we're gonna be able to attack. Right now he's forced to move his knight. There isn't that many squares he can go. Of course he can go there. Here we could sacrifice an exchange, but for absolutely nothing. We're not even gonna look at that. He could also have gone here, here. None of those are good moves. Here he can't. This was not good. So I guess this made sense. And now for candidate moves here, we have the obvious this. But the reason I don't like this move is because we're just losing a tempo. He's gonna take our bishop, uh, and he definitely does not mind it. We're gonna take the knight, fine. He's gonna take, I'm gonna take. In this position, it's pretty equal. I don't like it. Because when you're doing something else other than playing f6, if he wants, he can play this anyway. So why force him to play f6? You're just losing a tempo. Um, because after it was my turn to play. After after I take back, it's his turn to play, and the only change in my position apart from the trade, which does not favor me because it's a knight for a bishop, I'm getting this diagonal open exposed, so that's not a good move. C takes d4 was the move I chose. Were there other possibilities? Sure. Maybe here I could have gone for this. Point is avoiding the trade. If he goes like this, I go like this. Takes, takes, and I'm threatening the knight. So this could have been definitely a possibility. I would go ahead and say that it might have been better than the move I chose. Because if I take like this, and takes, I mean, I'll be up a pawn. Not really. So between this position and this position, I prefer this. I prefer this, and that makes me believe that bishop d5 could have been a better move than c takes d4. Better, possibly. Because if he had taken my bishop, I think he would have been pretty equal. And with bishop d5, saving the bishop would be great. Are there any other moves I need to look at before moving on? I mean, there are always other moves, but for this very brief analysis, we're gonna go ahead and continue. So c takes d4, c takes d4, bishop b5 now, and well, obviously, not obviously, because at the time I guess I didn't see this. There is this. How did I not see that? That's the real question. Is there something here I'm not looking at correctly? I should obviously have gone bishop d5, surely. Also stops the advancement of the pawn, and this threat is still here. I mean, I recall the reason I went for this is because of this. Like, if he goes here, defending this pawn, then I can go there. But I pretty much just blundered. What is that? Oh, I know, I know. Now I know. If you analyze the game sometime after having played the game, you forgot why you played some things, and it just looks stupid. Can't because of this. So yeah, that rule could be mine. I did not remember that at all. Anyways, I should have seen that instantly. That said, bishop e5 does look like the better move. A4 now. Um, for whatever reason we have. Okay, yeah. So a4. I need to move my bishop somewhere. This is not a good move for now because takes. I mean, I guess my bishop is my pawn is advanced, but that's more of a liability than an asset. Takes. He can go after the pawn. There's not much I can do to defend it. I mean, sure. There's this. Sure, there's also taking that pawn. Obviously, that's better. But after this, say this. My extra pawn is this pawn. No, not that because the rook is here. But yeah, you got a point. It's not exactly perfect. perfect reasoning for me here. So maybe I could have actually gone for that. But if you just no, it does not make sense. You just go here first. Mm, not sure what I'm looking at yet. I mean, no, that pawn would be in. Maybe this is a good move. Let me just look at it again. Should be three. If he takes, I take. Doesn't need. Trading is not forced. Like you can go here. That's true. But this pawn is gonna be a massive problem to defend. Uh, I don't know. I think this is actually bishop d3 would have been great right away. Instead, I delayed it by bringing the bishop back, allowing him to react to that. So that was not very smart, because now he could just take the bishop. I go rook c7 attacking the queen, that's I guess a great move. Queen goes back there. f6 now. I guess it didn't have many better places to go. f6, that's danger levels, my pawn is under attack, but now he needs to move the knight. And this creates the weakness in the light squares and allows the knight to go to g6. I guess that's a problem. It ended up being a big problem. But at the time I'm like, well, I am getting what I want. That's bishop on d3. This could all have been avoided if I just play bishop d3 first. But because there's always those taboos you have, oh, I shouldn't be trading my bishop for a knight. In this position, that would be winning, completely winning, I think. I want to take a look at that with the engine, and I'm gonna do it right now. Forgive me for that. Okay, it's not there. Okay, I'm actually losing. But just because the computer says so, it doesn't necessarily mean it trades. Alright. I go rook takes. Now what? How does he? Oh. Misclick. Oh, te vai done. Thank you. Queen c8. Okay. I did not see that. Uh, I do not have, like I expected, a free pawn. It's actually the other way around because it's gonna get the chance to play this. Otherwise, I get that pawn. And oh my, yeah, it's not. I did not see this line. That's why the computer is so important, whether you like it or not. Because you never. I mean, sometimes you consider all the lines and all the lines to the full extent, but sometimes you miss lines or don't see lines fully. And in this case, I did not see an entire line, which is queen c8. So bishop d3 was not that good. Bishop a6 was actually better. Okay, wait to see. Let's get back to it. Knight goes there. Bishop gets to its intended desired square. Now I end up trading because I need my queen to be free. It can't be defending the rook. And after that, I win a pawn. Now this move was pretty obvious. I'm like, should I stay and defend the pawn? Should I take these? And I think this is one of the moments I fuck up. I think I probably should have like given a check like here and bring my the entire other way around. This could have been a possibility. Come on, a possibility. Surely the knight is under attack. Say the knight goes there because it attacks this. I would go absolutely nowhere because it's actually not that good for the obvious reasons. Okay, so that would not work. Actually, don't know then. What should I have played? I defended this with the rook, but now my king looks so weak. That ended up being a problem. I take on a4, right? Then knight d5 is played. But it's getting dangerous, right? And after taking that, sure I'm up to pawns, but he has pressure. There's this alignment, so I should have not played it this way. I think bringing the rook to b8 was probably the pivoting point, Bring the rook away from the king. Here I am already up a pawn. Maybe what I could have played just taking this pawn, let him take this one. Now attack the rook. The rook say goes here. Doesn't really matter, I can defend the pawn. I'm up a pawn and I'm more comfortable. If he ever plays this, I'm like, could go check and this. That's great because it forces a trade. And this endgame can still perfectly be a draw, although you are a pawn up, because when you trade too many pieces, um, it ends up being a draw, and the computer says 0-0, especially in rook endgames. Those are the ones that are most often draw. So yeah, rook b8 was not good. Here, yeah, you can see the advantage for white. We're gonna take a look at it afterwards. Goes queen g3 like it should. I take like an idiot. Obviously here I can take because there's mate. So I need to defend from mate, and I defend it like this. I don't have many alternatives. But now he gets the knight in there. After I take another pawn like an idiot, you can give a check, and now it's pretty much forced what's about to happen. Could I have delayed it by going this way? I mean I had a draw at least if he keeps repeating moves. But I was convinced I could win, so I don't even try to play that. And this is obviously a blunder, a big blunder. I realized that already when I was playing. Yeah, it was not my proudest moment, but it is what it is. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just hit review. Yeah, probably the worst game we played today in terms of accuracy is 71.1, 71.1. Chess.com says we're 1400. So yeah. Let's take a look at it from the beginning. Computer doesn't like some of these moves, like d5, but that doesn't really matter. We're seeing the main line now. Bishop d7. Uh, okay. Takes. Here. Everything pretty normal from now. We don't. This was a good move. Okay, that's great to see. It's one of those moments we are kind of wondering if c takes d4 could actually be better. It's not. Right. So c takes d4. It's marginally worse. That's great to see. Then, okay, this was another good move from us. That's great to see. Again. Now here we consider like h6 and all that, but queen b6 was a good move, and that's great to see. The defense, right? I played h6, and I still think that was a good move. Again, the best move. Nice. We are cultivating some advantage. Now here goes bishop h4, and again I think I should have went g5 instead of go knight f. Okay, the computer says this is the best move. We're gonna have to take a look at this one. Um. So you will see bishop h4. Like I said, we consider g5. And the computer does not aid it, like, oh, it's the second best. Okay, we saw it in our analysis, so that's actually great. It's a shame we played this move in the game, because that was not a good move. But g5 was a good move, so our analysis was correct. And if we come here and take a look at the other, the apparent g5 now appears as the best move. The apparent best was to take here. C takes c4. We also took a look at this, as you can see, but I didn't see it was that great. Um, oh, you can combine both ideas. No, come on. Okay, France as one. That's great. You can combine both ideas. It's okay. Now by taking here, he saves himself. Yeah. Okay. Now here. Oh, this was the best move. It was another moment we considered, and you're like, yeah, I'm sure. A5, it was our waiting move. Computer likes bishop d7. I didn't even consider this move. Why does the computer like it so much? So okay, let's say that does happen. So bishop is 7. Okay, okay, I guess I understand. Can take a look. Okay. So the point is, because we have this pressure on this pawn, but why is moving the bishop backwards important? Like, after h5, you can also play this anyways, and it does. And how is that any different? It takes. Now everything happened exactly the same. Um, oh. No way I would have seen that. It's because now after the knight takes the bishop and pawn takes, because if you take with the queen you no longer look at this, the queen looks at the pawn. That's not easy to see. So you're not actually winning a pawn, you're just turning the d pawn for the b pawn. Okay. That's why bringing the bishop back would have been better. Anyways, we keep on going. Right now, I realized that here, so now I move the bishop, but now was not a nice moment to move the bishop because he could have taken this pawn. So what we saw in our analysis was that this was fine, but apparently it is not. I was thinking f6 saves the day. Oh, danger levels! Oh god, I did not see that. That would completely screw me over, yeah. This was not a good game. So that was actually hanging upon. Anyways, we both play this, and the rest is history. I'm allowing the infiltration of the knight. Right here, I'm actually winning. But yeah, it gets messy right around here. Like I said, this was the pivoting move. This mistake. Let's just take a look at what the computer thinks is the best. So queen b1, uh, queen b6 also. Let's see if this was also possible. No, this one is not good because there's 97 check. Okay, that makes sense. But then explain to me how come queen b6 is good. Can't they also go like this? Comes f8. I guess this threat is important. And it defends this, it defends this. This would be a good move. Don't know why I missed this both in analysis and in the game. Anyways, I play queen b8 and rook b8 and then it's lost. It's just lost. I just decide to capture another pawn because I'm an idiot. 95 for whatever reason. G5. Oof. Why is this? Is it because I can repeat moves? It was because I could repeat moves. Ain't it? Yeah. So I was so greedy. I thought I was winning. I blundered like an idiot. This is such an obvious mate. And the reality is, I'm an idiot. But the reality also is, um, I could have just drawn it had I gone the other way. And I saw this in the game, but I was like, no, I don't want to repeat move. No, 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 no. Annoying. Well, thank you for watching. And yeah, so I'm streaming this on Twitch. You're gonna see it on YouTube because nobody's watching on Twitch. But if you actually learned something now, please come watch me on Twitch because I'm live every day. Because I'm grinding. I'm trying to reach 2000 yellow on FIDE. And it's not gonna be easy. I'm not gonna do it for a while because I don't intend to participate in any tournaments until September. But I wanna get back into tournaments in September, playing great. And if you could show up on Twitch, it would actually help me achieve that. So yeah, thank you.